Hi folks, welcome back to The Addicted Bookworm. Yes, it is nighttime. It is still Monday. Oh my lord. I came home with I read a little bit of Mort. I read a little bit of the that second book in that 9 book packet. So yeah, I've been doing some reading. I read a little bit on my Kindle, but I finished Death by Chocolate Malted Milkshake. And guess what the murder weapon is? It's actually a murder weapon and a vehicle to deliver the weapon into the body. So it is cyanide is the weapon of choice, and the milkshake is the vehicle to which the poison is delivered. So this kind of reminds me of and I think the Tylenol murders was mentioned here just by name. I don't know. I am reading on my Nook Glow Life 4 Plus. I will tell you something. I'm gonna be blunt. This has got to be the best e-reader I've ever bought in my entire life. I love it so much. Anyways, so this actually marks the third book that I've read. So I told you guys that when I read 5 books, I will get another book. Well, I already got another book because I got the Coffee House one. So I'm actually going to, read them, but I won't get any more books. What I'm basically just going to do is just read like another several books and then get another one. Anyways, so Death by Chocolate Malted Milkshake is the second book in this series by by Susan Graves, and I really like her last name. I swear, some people's names just tell you they're destined to be great authors. So this is the second book, and in this one you have 2 victims. I believe they're both killed the same way by cyanide. But it's the one in the milkshake that gets our protagonist really itching to figure out why would someone use her milkshake, or yeah, I believe it was her milkshake, to kill someone. So, and what's so interesting about this series as a whole is that it's chocolate based. So you can pretty much guess. Well, I'm like, oh yes, I really want to read this series. So, anyways, going back to the book. So in this one, we have two deaths. We have a poisoned chocolate malted milkshake. And we got a woman who is a complete and absolute chocoholic trying to figure out exactly why. Why was the milkshake chosen? And I think the reason it was chosen, and this is just a theory, the chocolate covers up the smell of bitter almonds. Now I did watch something where it said like 60% of people cannot smell cyanide, which is terrifying. If you have 60% that can't smell it, that's generally like a lot of the people that can smell it are generally goes into being a coroner. Anyways, so her and her friend are, I believe her name is Ellie, tries to figure out how this happened and how the cyanide got into the milkshake and all that type of stuff. And it is quite clear that the people doing it, or the person doing it, is a complete nutcase. And it turns out to be 2 people that did it. And I'm gonna say, yeah, there's a good chance that is definitely the thing, because if you have 2 victims, you most likely, well, not all the time, but sometimes you'll have 2 killers. But most of the time it'll be 1. So, as this story progresses, our protagonist and her friend get a lot more closer to the truth. And we had a really interesting scene with a leech. You know, those blood-sucking leeches. That has... I would have freaked out if there was a leech on my body. Ooh. Hold on. Oh, bless me. So, interestingly enough, we have a protagonist that gets away from the danger just to find herself back in danger. And, but that's how she figures out who the killer or killers are in this case. Absolutely loved this book, and I definitely want to get book 3. Now, I'm going to tell you something about book 2. So on my Nook Glow Light 4, which is the smaller e-reader, this would take me like 46 to 50 minutes to actually read. On this one, it was actually cut. The time was cut in half, so I was able to read the chapters faster. I will say though, the last 3 days that I was actually reading this book, I was reading like 2 chapters a day, because literally it was like, I was like this, Alright, so anyways, I am reading a book called The Retirees. This is a book I started yesterday, and I'm definitely enjoying that book. Once Upon a Grind, I'm also enjoying that book. So the next book that I'm going to actually be reading is, I'm going to be reading from the bookstore thing. So let's see here, book 3. This is called Book Plate Special. And I'll let you... Okay, so yeah, there it is. It doesn't have a cover on it. There's 23 chapters in it. So, alright, there it is. Alright, so, alright. But I will say though, about my Nook Glow Light 4, the battery is a lot better. Sorry, the Nook Glow Light 4 Plus, the battery's a lot better. Okay, that is it for today, or for tonight. I will be back tomorrow. I am not going to read... I'm not going to read any more from this book, because I already read my chapters for the day. But I will be back tomorrow to read chapters 21 to 41. So I will see you guys next time.